Gently lift it up.
Seeing a lot of bubbles right here. Huge! Huge!
It is an absolute river monster. Holy mackerel.
Yes! Fish is in the boat! This has been an experience unlike anything I have ever been a part of before.
Alligator gar are one of the most long-lived fish in the Western Hemisphere, and it can take more than a decade for them to reach maturity. Once reproductive age has been achieved, males and females migrate from the protection of deep waterways and into shallow floodplains where breeding takes place. Sadly, it's this intimate setting where the largest number of mature adults are being killed by bow fishermen. Warning: the following images are graphic and may be disturbing to younger viewers. Bowfishing is a brutal sport that is simply defined as shooting fish with a bow and arrow. Now, before we rush to judgment, it's important to recognize that not all bow fishermen and their practices are bad. Technically, this hunting style is not illegal, and in some instances, it can be beneficial to the ecosystem. One example is the harvesting of invasive Asian carp. The problem exists when their arrows are intentionally shot toward apex predators like alligator gar. Gar are considered rough or trash fish, and while some people do consume their catch, the majority dump lifeless carcasses along the river embankments. Over time, the trophy hunting destruction of these long-lived fish will prove detrimental to the necessary balance of our river ecosystems. And without restrictions, you can understand why these living dinosaurs find themselves at risk of going extinct.
Right now we are coming up on a buoy which is very low in the water. This could be a fish. Check this out. Way sunk down as compared to the other ones. This could be a fish. All right, so what do we want to do, guys?
We want to grab the float line, see where the fish exactly is at.
Okay.
And then we see from which way it swam in and get it on board so we can tag it. So gently, once you notice the boat's over it, gently lift it up.
Seeing a lot of bubbles right here. There is a huge fish in this net. It may be, without question, the biggest fish you guys are ever going to see. We gently started to pull up the net. I saw its snout. Its head may be 2 feet in length alone. So we're waiting for Mario to catch up. We were checking a different net. Cameras are running. This is going to be our river monster, guys. Now it's just a matter of getting it on the boat.
I'm estimating that this one is 2 meters.
It could be a 250-pound fish.
Giant!
Huge!
Giant.
Huge! Get your camera ready!
What do you think the boat's position you want?
It's right. It sounds right at me.
Oh my god, that is giant. That is a giant. Max?
Florian,
it's okay. Don't worry about it.
We need to figure out a way to get the lead line around it. Florian, I need your help
Max,
too.
yeah.
Okay, here we go.
I need your help too,
Can I
Florian.
come over here? Yep, let me get out of the way. I'm gonna weight the boat from this side.
It's good, it's good, it's good. Oh my god, this is a big fish.
This is a huge
I got your leg, I got your leg.
That one is not coming out anymore. Oh my god, this might be the biggest we had.
Wow! It's a huge fish, guys!
Wow!
Okay, what do we gotta get it up into the boat?
We need your help
my
getting
God.
it.
Okay, where do you want me at? Where do you want me?
Right in the middle next to us.
It is an absolute river monster. Holy mackerel.
I think.
Oh, my fingers. Okay, take it.
You ready?
1, 2, 3.
Yes! Fish is in the boat! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Holy cow! That is a river monster! It is absolutely massive. All right, slide it back. Okay. Yes! Fish is secure. Oh
That is
my gosh! It's massive. Absolutely massive. So right now we're getting the net off of the fish. We're gonna get into a shaded area, start collecting the biometrics, and we're definitely gonna take a good look. This is what river monster legends are made of. This alligator gar is the biggest fish I've ever seen. No questions asked. So their namesake, where it comes from, that reptile, you can see how closely this fish resembles a reptile of that magnitude. I'm beside myself right now. This is crazy. This fish is huge.
Yeah, there you go.
Fish is free. Fish is free from the net. Okay, we got to get the net out of the boat here. Guys, this is
Incredible.
and this is your last day in the field.
Our very last day.
And it may be your biggest fish.
It may be our biggest fish. I mean, to share this moment with you guys, it's...
Wow, I mean, this is where the legends come from. Fish of this size is what they write stories about. I never imagined we would catch one this big.
As is the case with all alligator gar, we work quickly to collect biometric data. Length, girth, identification flag, and insertion of a micro pit tag, which stands for Passive Integrated Transponder. For clarification, this is not a tracking chip. It's an identification tag that can quickly be scanned to ID this fish if it is caught again in the future.
Prepare to have your mind absolutely boggled, because this is the biggest alligator gar we could have possibly come across. This fish measures almost 8 feet in length and is close to 220 pounds. If that doesn't define a river monster, I don't know what does. I can barely fit my arms all the way around it. It feels like I'm holding on to a dolphin, or probably more accurately to say, holding on to something that is a dinosaur. Remember, these creatures have been on the planet for over 100 million years. Look at the size of this fish's head. Its jaws are massive. Its eyeballs, enormous. And its skull absolutely dwarfs my hand when I place it up on top. The armored plating that runs down the length of this fish is so thick, you can easily see why Native Americans turned these ganoid scales into arrowheads. In fact, you could turn this entire fish's back into an armored breastplate if you needed to. Of course, that's certainly not something we would ever need to do, and it's probably taken this fish close to 50, if not more years to grow to this proportion. Let me see if I can lift it up just a little bit in the water. It's a little more buoyant, so it's a little easier. Look at the size of it. Absolutely massive. That's taking all my strength just to get it. And when I turn it like this, look at the length of the body. Look at the dorsal fin, the caudal fin. Absolutely gigantic. I have never seen a creature of this magnitude my entire life. I have been fascinated by the alligator gar. Similar to the snapping turtle, this is a creature that was just considered a nuisance, a trash fish technically, and at one point in time they tried to eradicate this species off the face of the planet. Because they have this menacing looking snout and those big teeth, people were afraid that a fish of this size would grab onto their legs, pull them down into the murky depths, and eat them. But you can see how docile this animal truly is. In fact, it's so docile, I'm comfortable getting just within inches of those teeth. This is not a bloodthirsty, ravenous killer. This is a gentle, sentient being, feasting on other fish and doing its best to stay out of the sight of humans. Now, the biggest threat an animal of this proportion faces truly is man. Can you fathom coming out into the environment and shooting an animal like this with a bow and arrow? It absolutely breaks my heart to think that these fish are hunted for sport. Now, if we could get the alligator gar listed as a game fish, that would limit the number of fish that were killed for sport. Something of this magnitude is an important part of the breeding population. This is without question a female. The females dwarf the males in size, and it's her genetics that will carry on the future. Got splashed in the face there by that gulp of air. It's her genetics that will carry on the future of these fish. And in a protected stretch of river like this, that is how a creature of this proportion managed to grow this big. This is something that deserves to be living here on our planet. They are doing an incredibly positive thing for the environment by balancing the ecosystem. This is considered megafauna. This is the apex predator within this river ecosystem. And without these fish swimming freely, the river will not be in proper balance. I just truly can't get over the size of this fish. There are virtually no words that can describe the experience of being in the water with an animal like this. And over the past 24 hours, we have spent a considerable amount of time learning from the Gar Guys. Here we are on our last day, checking our final nets, and we managed to land a truly epic river monster, an ancient relic, a living dinosaur. We've collected the biometrics, and now it's time for this fish to carry on its genetic traits into the future. This has been an experience unlike anything I have ever been a part of before. Finally getting to see a truly monstrous-sized alligator gar in its natural habitat. I'm Coyote Peterson. Be brave. Stay wild. We'll see you on the next adventure. This was something else.
The current Texas state record caught on rod and reel weighed 279 pounds, while the all-time world record tips the scales at 327 pounds. Our fish measured 7 feet 5 inches in length, estimated weight of 220 pounds. So while we won't be awarded any Guinness accolades, I think we can all agree that this is one very big fish.
What's it like just swimming alongside one of these giants?
It's like swimming with a dinosaur, swimming with the most awesome animal on the planet.
I mean, this is a great example to show how non-aggressive these fish are. I mean, literally, you can kiss this guy on the, or this girl on the nose right now.
Nose bump.
For anybody who was afraid of alligator gar, this proves right here, Max is inches away from those teeth. No signs of aggression whatsoever. Incredible. What a sentient, peaceful being. Unbelievable. All right, you guys ready to release the beast?
We're ready.
All right, here she goes. See you later, big fish.
We will never be able to convince all archers to put down their bows, but we can lessen the number of fish they kill. To do that, we need Fish and Wildlife Management, not only in Texas, but all states, to list the alligator gar as a game fish. What this will do is limit the number of fish that can be harvested on a daily and ultimately yearly basis. It also puts restrictions in place that will prevent the needless slaughter of these animals during breeding season, when they are most susceptible to the atrocities of archers. I know that the fight for these regulations will anger those who enjoy bow fishing, but it's important for the future of these fish that we preserve the largest breeding individuals, as it's their genetics that will ensure this species isn't driven to extinction. If you want to join the fight and battle on the front lines of the Gar Wars, I encourage you to take a stand. Speak out. Sign the petition that will give alligator gar a game fish status, and use your internet voice to share this link with as many people as possible. I believe that a conservation fish force has awoken, and we will make the difference that these fish cannot make for themselves. Together we will create a new hope for the future of these living dinosaurs.